going to be so what happens is when they produce, when they take that sound and image to a dubbing studio, what you'll see is you'll have your microphone set up, and you'll see the image going, on the screen. And I did this for Superman 2, which is my voice. And you'll see a little sort of black strip that will go across from the left side to the right side of the screen every time you start a syllable. And so your voice has recorded that, is translated to that line, so the lines that come across. So the person doing the dubbing knows to do, okay, the first line is may. So if you said, may the force be with you, but that's not the way it was said, it wouldn't make sense on your lips. This particular actor had a big pause between the fifth syllable and the sixth, and I don't want to be too technical. So what your voice recording is when you're shooting the scene is your voice is recording a guide track for the purposes of dubbing. Now, in the instance of a unknown actor or what have you, just doing 5 lines on a film and you'll never see this guy again, it really doesn't matter that you have to use his voice. So what happened with all of us is that we did our voicings, and then when Lucas put all this back together in Los Angeles, we just got a local voice actor to do the voices for all of us. All right? Now, in the case of Mark Hamill or Carrie Fisher in a similar situation where there was a lot of noise going on in the background, she was going to provide her own guide track, and if you had recorded for Carrie Fisher, well, that's not Carrie Fisher's voice, so she has to be called in to do that. But they're not going to pay John Morton to fly over from London to Los Angeles to do one line of the film. They'll get somebody else. The exception to that, of course, is if the post-production dubbing is being done in the town where the actors are. And in the case of Superman, and Superman 2 in my case, they were doing the dubbing in a studio right near where I lived in West London. And so they called up my agent and said, hey, we want to dub John, his lines in Superman 2, and is he available? And so the agent called up and said, hey, they want you in tomorrow to dub your lines in Superman. Okay, good, great, I'm not doing anything else. So I got to go, and guess what? That's when I met Christopher Reeve. And he was a lovely guy, very, very accessible, unpretentious guy. But I dubbed my own. But if I'd been working on another film or doing something else or not available, they wouldn't have hesitated. Okay, we'll just get somebody else. So, that's again, the magic of movie. Any other questions? Sir?
Were you able to keep any of the costumes and the props in the movie?
No, I was too stupid to realize that I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I mean, I do remember actually looking at my my gloves and saying, I don't want to walk off these things. This would be kind of fun as a souvenir. But I didn't have that kind of money. Gary Kurtz did. Now, Gary Kurtz, as the executive producer of New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, he lives in London and lives actually near Elstree Studios. And so all of the stuff that they had in Star Wars, and you can imagine they had containers of all of this memorabilia, call sheets, still photographs, gloves, you name it. All of it was all stored away in case they want to use it again in Elstree. Well, several years ago, Elstree Studios sold off part of its lot to a developer where they now got a shopping center. And so all of this stuff is going to go out the door. And they said, hey, you guys want this, you can have it. If not, it's going in the dump. So Kurtz got in there and got a warehouse full of Star Wars memorabilia. And he's got a partner named Jason Joyner, and every now and then they have auctions. And you can buy Star Wars stuff that, anything you want to do. call sheets. You know what a call sheet is? You know, call sheet is kind of a schedule of, okay, you got this is all the actors that they need and all the technicians for this particular day. So you've got Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, John Morton, you know, people want that stuff. You know who Steve Sansweet is? He's got Rancho Obi-Wan. He's collected call sheets and things, and he's got that all charted out in his collection. And it's actually he's done a number of scrapbooks that have imprints of the call sheets. And every now and then I run into a fan who's got a call sheet who wants my signature on it because he's got Hamill's, and so somehow maybe they got it from Gary Kurtz. But so that stuff is out there. And some of the guys probably did that. You know, they walked off with a few things, but I don't know. I guess I was too honest. I didn't want to get in trouble. I was a good guy. I was a rebel. I wasn't a Sith. Anybody else? Sir.
How did they make the AT-AT walkers on Snowflake?
That one I don't know.
Model.
Do you know?
Did they use miniature models, I think?
Were they all models?
I think so.
I will guess that they were model shots, and they wouldn't have been on that glacier. However, when the snowspeeder gets stepped on, they probably had that in full size. So what you were seeing was not the whole AT-AT, but you were probably seeing a giant leg of the AT-AT that was attached to a crane or something, and they were able to get it working. And so when you saw the close-up, you saw a life-size AT-AT foot coming down. But that's just a guess. I don't know. Probably in the making of Star Wars, one of those books, Winsler's books, might come into me. Anybody? We done? Going once? Well, thanks for your time, folks.
Thank you.
We aim to please. Come see me at the booth. I'll be there until probably about 5 o'clock. If you got any other further questions or you want an autograph.